In this video, I'm going to continue summarizing the quest lore in the Northern Barrens, specifically for Chapter 3. So if you skipped reading the quest while leveling your character, and now you want to find out what was going on, but you don't want to go all the way back and have to play and read through everything, then let's jump in and find out what you missed in World of Warcraft. Okay, before we jump into the next chapter, let's do a little recap on Chapter 2. Last time we made our way to the Goldum farm and protected the caravan from the Quillboar on our way up. Once we got there, we learned that the Razormane have been attacking the farm relentlessly. In the end, you were able to capture one of the Quillboar, interrogate them, and find and kill their leader. After that was done, you were told to head to the Crossroads with the next caravan. But if you'd like to see the entire episode in full detail, then go ahead and click this link right over here. So now that you're kind of caught up, let's jump into summarizing the quest lore for Chapter 3 in the Northern Barrens. Now it's time to head to the Crossroads. And in order to do so, we need to speak with Rocco Whipshank. He asks if you're ready to leave. And when you say yes, 2 Kodos arrive and you jump on the back of one of them. When heading out though, our good old friends the Burning Blades show up and begin to harass you. But you take care of them with your trusty gun, which is the same gun that you used in Chapter 1 when you were heading to the farm. Once you reach the Crossroads, you speak with Thork. And he's really glad that you were able to get some supplies over here. Now, we run up to Apothecary Helbram. He says that to the west of here is an oasis, and the waters there are starting to rejuvenate all of the animals that are living in that area. But it's also transforming them. He tells you that there's a fungal spore at the Forgotten Pools, which the apothecaries at Lordaeron find really useful. So he wants you to bring back 5 of them. Now you run up to Tonga Rune Totem, and he says that life is beginning to bloom in areas that were once really dry. Also that there's a power leaking its way to the surface. This is most likely caused due to the cataclysm. The only thing is, he really doesn't know where it's coming from. So he wants you to find the source, which might be located near the Forgotten Pools. Good thing you're heading over there. Tonga also mentions that the disciples of Narlex want to cleanse the Wailing Caverns and bring them back to their former glory, because basically it's trash now. But since this is a dungeon quest, we'll maybe take care of that later in another episode. Now we run up to Surgra Darkthorn, and she's all like, if you want to prove yourself to my horde, because according to her it's her horde, then you've got to kill 4 Zephyras out in the open and bring back their hooves. Simple as that. You get to prove yourself once again. She also says that if you really want to demonstrate your bravery, then you can fight the Savannah Huntresses. But be careful because they're pretty rough, and you may become the prey instead of the hunter. So while you're out there killing the Zephyras, kill 5 of the Huntresses and bring back their claws as proof. Now we head out. Kill 4 of the Zephyras and loot them for their hooves. Plus we kill 5 of the Savannah Huntresses and rip off their paws. From here, we head west towards the Forgotten Pools. And when you arrive, you begin to collect the fungus spores and explore the waters of the Forgotten Pool, finding some bubbles emanating from a fissure at the bottom. While in the area, you find and speak with Talar Highstrider, who tells you that the Kolkar centaurs of the Barrens aren't on good terms with the Tauren, and that their leader, Barak Kodobane, is rallying other centaurs to fight. So Talar wants you to bring back his head. Now you run up to a troll named Tajari. He's been sent here to scout out the centaur activity, and now it's time for him to head out. But he needs you to make a distraction so that he can sneak away. What he means by a distraction is kill 8 of the Kolkar centaurs. So now you head out, kill 8 of the centaurs, and find and kill Barak Kodobane, removing his head in the process. Then you head back to the Forgotten Pools and check in with Talar. He says well done, and that Kodobane was just one of the many leaders of the centaurs in the Barrens. So if you want to help out killing the rest of them, then you'll need to speak with Talar's companions at the other oasis. Now you run up to Tajari. He says that he shouldn't have stayed behind to watch you, because for him, he was kind of getting a kick watching you kill all the centaurs. But now that they're actually hunting you down, maybe it's a good time for him to slip away quietly. But before he goes, he says to look for his buddies at the other pools in the other oasis, because Tajari's boss has agents all over the place. So now you leave the Forgotten Pools and make your way back to the Crossroads. When you arrive, you immediately speak with Apothecary Helbrim. He thanks you for gathering the fungal spores and says that he and his associates are eager to study them. Upon turning this quest in, he says that he's made an interesting cocktail out of the spores that you've gathered and wants you to plant them in the soil anywhere near the Oasis located to the southeast of here. From there, just observe and document anything that happens when you do. Now you run up to Surgra Darkthorn and hand her the zebra hooves as well as the huntress claws. She's impressed with your work and doesn't say much. What she says is stuff like, you'll need the strength and the cunning of beasts like these to serve in my beloved horde, and you know, stuff like that. But now she wants you to kill the king of these savanna cats named White Mist, or rather named Echeyake in the Tauren language. Now they say that this animal is so fast that its prey neither has time for fear or pain when it's attacking them. So she wants you to hunt it down by going to its lair in the northwest. And when you get there, blow this horn that she gives you to call out the big kitty. Now you run up to Tonga Rune Totem, and you tell him about the fissure at the bottom of the pool with the bubbles coming out of it, and he says that that's strange, and that he would like for you to investigate something with him. Now Tonga has a friend named Jarek, and Jarek has mentioned something similar to what you found in the pool, but it's happening somewhere else in the Barrens. Now Tonga can't leave his post here at the Crossroads, so he wants you to take his eagle companion, which will serve as his eyes, and bring it all the way to Thunderhead Summit, which is located near Ratchet. In doing so, Tonga will be able to investigate from afar. But before you head down there, you leave the Crossroads and head north to the lair of Echeyake. Once you get there, you blow the horn, which lures him out. And once you've killed the cat, you head back to the Crossroads to speak with Surgra. She says that even though Echeyaki's hunting days are over, his spirit is within you and will show you strength found in subtlety. She also mentions that she may have underestimated you, and that the Horde is fortunate to have you in their ranks. But just before you think you're done with her quests, she has another one for you to do. Surgra says that the hunt deepens, and wants you to hunt the Sunscale Raptors to the south. In order to show them that you're not afraid, kill them until you've collected 3 of the feathers that they wear, and then place them on the Sunscale nest. Now before we continue on, I do want to mention a few things about the channel. I started doing these quest summaries a few years ago, and it turned into something that I love to do. I ended up starting a Patreon account that people can go to support the channel, and with that, I'm offering something pretty special to the top tier Patreon supporters. Each month, I give away a new desktop background for your computer, and each of them is World of Warcraft based and rendered entirely in Unreal Engine. This last month was a picture of Dalaran, and the resolution for each of these pictures is 16K. So they're very, very detailed and very professionally done, and I love making these for you guys. I am working on the one for February, so if you guys want to catch the one for Dalaran right now, it's going to be up for just a couple more weeks. So if you do want to go pick that up, then go ahead and check out the Patreon link down below. Also, make sure to like and subscribe with your friends and help that YouTube algorithm so we can get this out to more people. Okay, let's get back to the quest lore. So from here, you head out of the Crossroads and make your way south to where the raptors are. Once you're there, you fight them until you've collected 3 of their feathers. Then place them on the Sunscale nests. Once that's done, you head southeast towards the Oasis. When you get there, you plant the cocktail into the soil, and a large mushroom-like thing grows out of the ground, which then dusts you with some type of green gas. Apothecary Helbrim will want to know about this. While here, you run into Gorgal Angerscar. He says that he was sent here to track the movements of the Kolkar centaurs, but since he's been here for a week, he's been getting an itch to take some of them out. Specifically, he wants to drop their strongest warrior named Kurak, so you're to keep Gorgal alive while you both hunt down this specific centaur. Now you head out with him, and make your way to the top of a nearby hill, where he places down a horde banner and calls out the centaurs, which leads into a battle with a few of them, and then inevitably Kurak, which you both kill. After that, it seems like Gorgal feels a lot better, and says that he can't wait for Shu to hear about this. But who's Shu? Well, Shu is Gorgal's partner located here in this area. And Shu really isn't thrilled with what just happened, because they're just supposed to observe and report. But with Kurak out of the way, it'll be interesting to see what the centaurs do without him. Shu then goes on to say that someone named Regthar Deathgate sent her here to observe the centaur activity, but their leader named Vurog the Dervish is nowhere to be found. So Shu wants you to look through all of the Centaur camps and bring back 4 pieces of intelligence, which could possibly help finding out where this Varog guy is. So now you head out, make your way to the Centaur camps, and collect a piece of intel from each of them, which will hopefully tell you where Varog is. Then you head back and report to Shu. She says that these are barely legible, more like angry graffiti than war plans. Here's the thing, the Centaurs, they're not really that smart. But these plans, like, we can still use them to our advantage. Because judging by the intel that you brought back, it mentions something about Varog's mate named Wyneth. And she's always in Varog's command tent, which is just to the west of here. And if we kill her, then Varog will come running. So it looks like we gotta lure him out. Now, you head out to the west towards the command tent. And when you arrive, you engage with Wyneth until she's dead. And sure enough, Varog shows up. After killing him, you loot his head as proof of his death. Then you head back to Shu to report. She says that you've really upset the balance of power around here. And Varog didn't have a clear successor, so the Centaurs are now going to be fighting each other, because they've really got no one to keep them in check. Plus, Varog reported directly to the Kolkar chief, so this was a really good start. But there's still a lot of work to be done. From here, you head out. And since we're close to where Tonga wanted you to meet up with his friend Jarek, we might as well go ahead and get that done. Once you reach Thunderhead Summit, you summon Tonga's eyes in the form of a bird, which then Tonga appears, or at least an image of him. He checks the area and notices that the flora is growing unchecked, which is devouring the land. Very similar to what was happening in the Oasis. He then says that he'll speak to you again at the Crossroads and then disappears. Now you run up to his friend, Jarek. He's glad that Tonga was able to witness the overgrowth for himself. And he says that he'll bring back Tonga's totem to him once he's finished up here, and that totem is the thing that you use to summon the bird. Jarek is now wondering if what's going on in the south can happen up here. And judging by what you found at the Forgotten Pools, the Oasis may be the key. So he wants you to take some seeds found here at the summit. Now, they're dead and infertile, but he wants you to take them down to the stagnant oasis down below, which is the area that you were just at recently. And if there's a fissure in the pool, then place the seeds inside and observe what happens. After that, report back to Tonga at the Crossroads. Also, while you're at the stagnant oasis, Jarek wants you to collect 6 altered snapjaw shells. The reason why is because these turtles have become more aggressive, and their population has exploded. So bringing back their shells will allow Tonga to pretty much analyze them and see if what's going on in the oasis is a cause of their aggression. So now you head out, and once you arrive at the oasis, you kill and collect 6 of the snapjaw shells. Then you enter the pool and find the fissure and place the seeds inside, which you really don't see much, but you hear a really loud rumble. From here, you leave the oasis and head back to the Crossroads. When you arrive, you run up to Surgra. You report that you placed the feathers on the raptor's nests, which she says that must have taken a bit of courage. And she also mentions that you look tougher now than when you first came here. And then Surgra finally admits that maybe you do have a place here in her beloved horde. That's kind of exactly what she says. Now, she mentions that it's time for you to start pulling your weight, like you haven't been already. Whatever. She says that this week's payroll for the Crossroads guards has gone missing, and that someone named Gazrog in Ratchet is heading up the investigation. So you're to go down there and find out what's going on and help out in any way that you can. Now you run up to Apothecary Helbrim and tell him about what you observed when you planted the cocktail in the ground. Remember this thing that grew out of it? Yeah, well, he's really excited that it produced some kind of gas, and asks you if it caused any choking, stinging, or burning of the eyes, stuff like that. He says that his notes on this needs to get back to the Undercity as soon as possible. So he wants you to head down to Ratchet and look for his associate named Sasha, located at the Broken Keel Tavern, so that she can head out on the next ship with the notes heading towards the Eastern Kingdom. Now you run up to Tonga and hand him the 6 snapjaw shells. He thanks you and says that studying these things may unravel the secrets about what's happening in the Barrens. He also says that your findings with the fissure is really interesting, and that whatever is under the oasis can create life from nothing. No doubt that this is causing the havoc in the south. After turning in this quest, you finally complete the 3rd chapter in the Northern Barrens questline. Very interesting with what's going on here, and this chapter was a bit longer than chapter 1 and 2. I would imagine that the Wailing Caverns have something to do with what's going on down below, but we can only find that out by adventuring forward. So thank you for checking out this video, and I hope it helped you find out what you've been missing while you've been playing World of Warcraft. And as always, a big shout out to the Patreon subscribers for supporting this channel. It means a lot to me, and I can't wait to make more content in the future. Again, if you'd like to help out with the channel and directly support me in what I'm doing, then go ahead and check out the Patreon link down below. And with that, we'll see you next time when we find out what happens next in the Tales of Azeroth. He says that his notes on this needs to get back to where?